Okay, since we've been talking about rigid motions, it kind of makes sense to now have a conversation about symmetry because symmetry ties directly into uh, our rigid motions, in particular reflection and rotation. So the one that you're the most familiar with, when I say symmetry, the thing you're probably thinking of is line symmetry. That's the one where if you split something in half, you get the same thing on both sides, kind of like a mirror image. So if we were to look at, like, say, this smiley face, I could have a line of symmetry right down the middle. And it's the same on both sides. So this side is exactly the same as this side. Now, obviously, an object can have more than one line of symmetry. So, like, for example, if we're looking at this other object, we have a line right here. And we also have a line right here, or thereabouts. But we also have lines here and a line here. Now, those aren't perfectly drawn, but you get the idea. So all of these are lines of symmetry, and basically this would be a line also be a line of reflection. So that's where you're familiar with it. But there are other types of symmetry also. In particular, that there is rotational symmetry. Let me get rid of these lines that decided to be a pain. Okay, that's better. So rotational symmetry is when we turn an object on its center and you get the same thing back. So rotational symmetry is when we rotate an object about its center less than 180 degrees and get the same object back. So if you would imagine for a second this square right here, if I were to rotate this square about its center, let's assume the center is right about there. If I rotate this, eventually I'm going to see the same exact square. Now, how far would I have to rotate it? Well, we'd have to rotate it 90 degrees. That's a pretty easy one to figure out. Well, what about this hexagon right here? Again, I could rotate this hexagon and I would get the same object back. Now, it turns out that the hexagon, I only need to rotate it 60 degrees in order to get the same object back. Now, you might be wondering, where am I coming up with those numbers? Well, let's take a look at where I'm coming up with those numbers for. By the way, these numbers would be called the degrees of rotational symmetry. Okay, so how do we find the degrees of rotational symmetry? Make this bigger so we can see it. To find the degrees of rotational symmetry, you basically do 360 divided by n, where n is the number of sides. Now, I want you to notice that we're using this word that you're actually pretty accustomed to, regular polygon. When we use the word regular in math, that actually has specific meaning. It means all sides and therefore angles are congruent. It's important to know that. This does not necessarily apply if we don't have a regular polygon. So you're going to take 360 and you're going to divide it by n. So if you think back to the last slide, we had a square. A square would have been 360 divided by 4. So that's where the 90 degrees of rotational symmetry came from. The hexagon had 6 sides, so now I have 60 degrees of rotational symmetry. Note that any multiple of the degrees of rotational symmetry will also result in identical image. So, if we take a pentagon that has 72 degrees, we'll get the same object back if we go 144, 216, 288, etc. That's something to know as we go forward here. All right, last thing, point symmetry. Point symmetry is a special case of rotational symmetry where an object has exactly 180 degrees of rotational symmetry. So if you look at these two objects here, if I were to rotate this 180 degrees, or this one, I'm going to get the exact same object back and nothing in between. So these two objects would be considered to have point symmetry. And that's it.